am ready to be open and talk about my issues for the sake of me just being able to tell them out loud. It makes me feel better. Also to help with other people who are struggling with their mental health. Now, the pandemic has made this a lot worse for me personally, but I've been struggling with my mental health for years. It's just the lack of confidence that I have. I always try to think back to where this may have started, and I just believe that I always had a lack of confidence because of my learning disabilities. You know, I'm not on the autism spectrum or anything, but sometimes I think I have Asperger's because of a lot of the ways that I do things. And your mental health is really, really important. I've always thought it was important, but I've always thought that I've always knew it was a big part of who I am. My mentality. If my mental isn't right, I'm out of balance to the fullest extent. It's really, really bad. A lot of things that have been helping me lately is a schedule. I have alarms in my phone and they go off throughout the day for me to start my next activity. I've only done this recently. My therapist, I've been going to therapy. That is also something new, maybe the past month or two. I've given them a try before, but the wrong person, so you just have to keep going until you find the right person. And I finally clicked with a lady who I love. So I just started a new topic of discussing something and I totally forgot what I was talking about. That happens a lot. I am so scatterbrained all the time. I want other people to know that if they're feeling just lots of chaos going on in your mind, you're not alone. You may think you're alone, but you're not alone. I have a lot of anxiety. It feels like I have battles going on in my head. People are trying to speak. I may not be using the right terms and terminology because I don't really understand. I don't understand a lot actually what's going on up there. But I will describe these to the best of my abilities. It feels like I have a lot of people talking in my head, and I feel like I've heard people talk about, like, with schizophrenia, there's like a host, and I feel like there's my body, there's me, and then there's a whole bunch of versions of me trying to get things out. Sometimes when I have positive thoughts or thoughts in general, a dark thought will come around. And it's very hard to control those thoughts. Sometimes I don't even notice I'm in those thoughts until I am zoned out and I'm out of the zone. I get out of it and then I thought, oh my, how many minutes was I in that dark zone? You know, I don't know sometimes. It's something that hasn't always happened. It's kind of like a new thing just because of being so cooped up in the house and the type of work that I do, which is my artwork. I'm always by myself, so I have to force myself to put music on, do a meditation, listen to a podcast, hear anybody's voice at all, because you're really alone when it's just you and it's just your mind. And it takes over, especially day after day after day. Like, you know, 2 years ago, I didn't have a job at the time. I was out of school. I was going out and doing a lot of things that I probably, you know, shouldn't be doing, but let's say I was experimenting with things. You get sucked into that life. You want to call it the going out life, fine. I got sucked into it. Knowing me and who I am, the things that I like to do, I know that I still had my true self back at home at my parents' house when I would go into the city and have fun, because of my earthy self, of the hands-on type of person that I am, of the builder person that I am. I knew that whenever I go back home, I'm me again. One of the things that helps me so much is being so physical and being able to be in a moment of working on my activities and my projects and my art that I just forget about everything. I can be so zoned in, which is one reason why I think I have Asperger's. Sometimes I have specific hobbies that I am fully passionate about. Now that just may be called passionate. Being passionate about something, I don't know. You know, you can never cancel anything out when you're kind of trying to figure out, you know, what's going on with you. So sometimes I think I have Asperger's. I come from an Italian Catholic family, and they will shelter me until the day I die, probably. Now, that is an issue for me specifically because I think I needed that push. I really, really needed that push to go out into the world and find myself. I would just lay in bed all day. All day. I would lay in bed. I would eat. I would probably smoke some weed. I would lay in bed all day. I didn't have much going on in my head, but no, I had a lot going on in my head, but just nothing useful. I knew that I was depressed, and I knew that it was getting worse and worse and worse. Months and months went by, and I developed an eating disorder. I developed the eating disorder after I knew I was depressed. And I developed it because I think social media was getting to me, being on my phone all the time. So, man, I hate technology sometimes. I hate it because I don't want to be in this world sometimes. Just saying, I don't want to evolve a lot. I want to be the person that I was when I was a teenager. Be a 90s baby again. You know, I am really struggling with thinking about how in the hell are my kids gonna survive in this world? And it's only gonna get worse unless we do something about it. The internet is amazing to be able to get on Google and just type in like what you need or what, you know, questions, like it's great. But the media and the portray of how women should look like messed me up. I got some natural meat on me, great, but that's not the only thing about me. And I started losing weight. I started losing a lot of weight. I would eat a lot and then I would throw it up, and never even thought twice that I would do something like that. Most people don't, but when you are in this dark corner, you will do anything to feel something, because you don't feel anything when you're depressed. You don't feel shit. You just feel sadness. It's pretty awful. So the eating disorder went on for about 7-8 months. I knew that I wanted to get better, but I didn't know how. And I didn't know how to talk to my parents because we weren't speaking at the time. I would treat them like crap because I didn't feel like I was serving any type of purpose. And I know that I've been put on this earth to spread my kindness and my joy, for being kind to others, animals, just that earthy shit, like homemade making stuff. Just, if I could live on a farm, I would. I so would. That makes me emotional just because I imagine it the moment I say it. I ended up wanting to get on an antidepressant So after the 7 months were done, and I was just really, I've never had suicide thoughts or thoughts of suicide. I've never had anything like that. I just always wished this specific time would be through and over with. But I'm turning 26, 25, 26, like things aren't, going anywhere. And I'm realizing, oh yeah, that's because you're not doing anything with your life. You're not doing anything. So I wanted to get on an antidepressant, and I finally just got up the courage to, tell my mom, to express to my mom and my dad that, like, I need help. And that is a turning point for me and hopefully for others, to just ask for help. After that point where I knew that I asked for help, I knew I was gonna get help. And a light just, I saw it. I saw that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I ended up getting on an antidepressant, and it changed everything. First, I didn't get on the right one. I tried multiple antidepressants, and I finally found one for me that's called bupropion, okay? When I think about it, I don't think that I was the one who was just like, I need to go get help. This is the day. I feel like something else came to me. God. I feel like God came to me, and he just lifted me off my ass and got me to go upstairs to tell my parents about what was going on. I don't feel like I had any motivation from myself. It was another force. Now, I got the help that I needed, and little by little, I just started creating art again. I just started creating. I just started going outside and picking the things that I like, and I somehow add them to my artwork, whether it's a painting, and I started cooking. I started cooking so much more than I usually do. I don't know, I started like being extremely creative with my cooking, that in a way that I had never had before. I was starting to make doughs from scratch, and starting to I did a lot of sushi. I did a lot of like fried little pockets, desserts, and just getting really, really, really hands-on creative with my cooking. So that saved me. It definitely saved me. Little by little, I started applying for more jobs as time went on. And later down the road, I got a job finally. And I stuck with that job for 7 to 8 months. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, just because I knew I was coming straight out of depression, but also because I didn't know what I was capable of. I still don't know what I'm capable of. I'm like figuring that out right now, but that job was definitely like a blessing in disguise for me. I got familiar with a routine again. I think routine is really important. I used to be scared of it because I thought, well, how you get yourself out of a routine, you just get stuck in it. But without that routine and just like being scared of it, you don't become familiar with the process of doing something every day, and how comforting it is, and how you just know what to do when you don't get sidetracked with like, what do I do next? It became very comforting. Now, I just started getting into a routine healthily lately, because the motivation I get now is through God. I have recently formed a new relationship with him. I've never had a relationship like this before with him at all. Not being in touch with my faith the way my family is, that's been a struggle, because I'm not exactly like the rest of my family. I'm a little more free-spirited, I believe. I might be a little more expressive and positive with like, sexuality and bodies. You feel like a black sheep, when you see the rest of your family. I feel like I have to be the same as them, and I can't express myself the way that I want to when I'm around them. And so, in the end, no matter how similar or different you are from your family, it's just important to just continue to be you and do the things you want to do, say the things you want to say instead of what you think your family might think of it. You know, I want my parents' approval, but I don't. You know, I want their love and support, but I don't exactly want them to like everything I do. And I think that's just a part of being my artist self, you know. It's a lot to balance a relationship. I'm doing it all pretty quickly, just in the sense of like it all kind of happened. So now I'm breaking things apart and I'm dealing with things, you know. My plan was not to move in with my boyfriend. Ever. Ever. Like, this kind of wasn't allowed in my family, being with a partner before you get married. So that was me just 100% being brave and taking a chance. And I'm proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself that I, you know, got the opportunity to move out of my parents' house in with someone that I love, and we share finances here. This is nor his place more than it is mine. This is our home that we've created, and my partner, I also didn't know he was going to come into my life either. Always dating people, thinking that they're going to be the one without even getting to know them is so unhealthy. Always thinking that that person's going to be the true love is insane. But that's because you're not happy with yourself. I wasn't happy with myself at all. I focused so much on other people or other relationships and not at all on myself. Not at all. All I really have left to say is don't lose your hope. Don't lose your hope, okay? And if anybody feels that they're alone, you're not. But you're surrounded by so many people just like you. And keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Years have passed by and I'm exhausted, but you have to keep fighting. Keep fighting. And I am not by any means cured. You're always still working. I'm just trying to say you're still working. Still work at it. I'm still working at it. And if anybody wants to share their story with me of depression or just anything you're going through that is telling you in your head that you can't do this, or you can't keep going, or you can't go out there and be great right now, you can. You just have to find the little things that make you happy and go with them. Because it starts there.